In this video, our task is to create a controller for our room. Now, there are two ways for us to create a controller. The first one is manually create a new file under controller. Just create a new file, just like what we did with the Omnia code spike or registration controller before. The second way is to run a command in the terminal, and I'll do it this time. So open your terminal. First, I'm going to clear it up. And I'm going to say Rails generate controller and name controller room, and follow with that is the action. So we need index, we need new, we need create, listing, pricing, description, photo, upload, amenities, location, and update. Hit enter. Cool. Now as you can see, it just create a bunch of files for us, and also it just add the get method into the route. All right, first it just create a room controller, and then it just create other views corresponding to each action. So we got index.html, new, create, etc. You don't have to worry about the testing stuff, because that's just for testing and that's not relevant to what we're doing. So open our project folder, and under the controllers we have the room controller, and it just create a bunch of action for us. And along with that, under views room folder, we got the correspondence files to each action. Here we got listing, pricing, etc. So for the index, let's start with something like add rooms equal current user dot rooms. What that means? First, in the index action, we want to list all the rooms belong to the current user. So that's why we can create a new variable named rooms, and we got current user dot rooms. The way we call current user dot rooms is because under f models user.rb, we say one user can has many rooms. So that's why you can say user or current user.rooms to returns all the rooms belong to this user. Next, to be able to edit or update the listing, pricing, description, etc., we need to know which room we are working on. So it should be something like this: add room equal room dot find, and we just pass the params id. All right, so first we got the room id as a parameters, and we just pass it here, and we look for the inside the database the room table to find the id, and we return to that variable. And we're going to do that for every single action here, for example. But as you can see, we just repeat the code, which is not ideal. So in Rails, we're going to create a private, and then just say create a method, say set room, and we're going to paste this one here. So instead of calling this one, from now we just call set room, and etc. But again, still repeat the set room function. So how do we deal with this one? Rails provides a very cool way to do that. Now up here, we just need to say before action run set room. All right, so that's why we don't have to do this. So now we understand the essential of the before action. So that means before you run any action here, just run a set room first. But obviously, we don't need to run a set room for index, new, and create. So what I can do, I'm going to say except index, new, and create. Alright, so that makes sense. Now let's start with the new action. The new action is when you open the page that allow user to create a new room. So for that reason, we're going to say room equal current user dot rooms dot build. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing with create, but this time for the create, we're going to pass the room params inside here. We don't have the room params yet, but we're going to do it right now. So we got room params. Actually, it's going to be params dot required room dot permit. So that's mean whenever you want to create a room or update a room, you need to permit which attribute you allow user to update or change or create. And in our case, it's going to be home type, room type, accommodate, bedroom, bathroom, listing name, summary, address, east, TV, east, kitchen, east, air, east, heating, east, internet, and then we got a price, and the last one is active. All right. Okay, so make sure that you got everything correct. We got home type, room type, accommodate, bedroom, bathroom, listing name, summary, address, TV, kitchen, air, heating, internet, price, and active. Cool. So now up here, that's mean when you create, you allow them to update those parameters. And we say if add room dot save. That's mean if you can save the room into the database successfully, then we're going to redirect to the listing room path, and we pass the room objects that we just create here into here, and we just create a notice which is a flash message. Say save it. I'm going to explain this one in a bit, so don't worry. Now otherwise, if there's something wrong, we can't save it into database. We need to tell that one, and actually we just render the new, and we just say notice something's wrong, went wrong, just like that. And also we're going to do the same thing with the update. So here I'm going to say if add room dot update rooms params. If we can update correctly, then we say the redirect to back. That means it's going to redirect to the current page, and we say save it. Otherwise, we say, well, actually, I'm going to put this one as a flash notice, and here we say save it. All right. Otherwise, we just display another flash, say something went wrong, and then we redirect back to the fallback location request dot refer. Okay, so that's mean if we go into the pricings, we update the price. If we can save it successfully, then that's fine. and we display safe, otherwise we display something went wrong, and we just redirect back to the pricing page. All right, this slide that means you back to the current page of what you're doing. I'm going to show you in later state when you updating all of those items for the room. Cool. So far so good. I just noticed that here we actually missing one thing. First, I'll just remove the spec here, and actually I'll think we just forgot the def show, right? Because we need an action to show the room, and I'll just quickly going to the room model, just create a new file. It's going to be show. Oops, sorry, not in model, in the view under room. Just create a new file, show.html.erb. Okay, because we need a page to show the room. All right, everything seems to be good except one thing. Notice that in the index we got current user, new, create. We also ask for current user, and for those things to be able to update the listing, pricing, description, etc., we need user to log in to be able to do that. So for that reason, here I'm going to say before action, I need to authenticate user. All right, and accept show. So that's mean if user want to go into the index page or listing pricing page to update the room, they need to log it in. All right, except show, because you can open a room without authenticating, right? Because that room is public to everyone, so everyone can see it. So that's why we don't need to authenticate user for show. Next, I want you to open the config routes.rb. Now remember that I told you before that when you run this one, it just create a route get for you. So now back here, we just remove that one, remove everything here, and actually inside here we say resources room, right? Resources rooms, and we say accept edit, and do inside here I wanted to do something member do, and then we got get listing, just copy 6 times. Yep. So we got listing, we got pricing, we got the description, and we got the photo upload, pricing, amenities, and the last one is location. So what all of that means? If you go to the terminal and type, first I'm going to clear it up and type Rails route, hit enter, and that will explain much better. So for example, I'll just open this one, and you can see under room we got room listing, rooms controller, and action pricing. And because I put all of the get action under the rooms, all right, so that's why you can see the URL, it looks like this. We got rooms and room ID, and then listing, rooms, room ID, and pricing, and so on. So by doing this resource room, and then we got a member, that means we're going to run every single action of a specific room ID. And remember this thing, listing room, we were talking about that when I say after you create a room, just redirect that to the listing room path. That's come from here, and that's going to run the room controller listing action, and for that reason it's going to run the room, the views, rooms, and listing.html.erb. That's mean after you create a room, it's gonna redirect to that page. So now you understand the workflow of this one. I know it might sound a bit complex, but trust me, once we done with the view, and I'm gonna demo you how you can create a room and update every single items and update every single information of that room, you will understand. Alright, so I hope you get some idea of how to deal with controller and views in Rails. Again, if you're not still quite sure about everything at this stage, don't worry, you will get it along the ways. So in the next video, we'll be working on the views. See ya.